Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Noah Bergren here, and I'll be joined in a few minutes with TJ Springer here on a Tuesday afternoon, the 23rd of September. Hope you've been having a great day out there so far. We are live on Fox Local, YouTube, and our Facebook page. If you'd love to chime in, love to hear from you here. We've got a lot to discuss today in the weather world. Several things pertaining to the tropics. I mean, when I tell you the tropics are very busy, they are very busy. In fact, we've got several systems to track out there. But first, I just want to bring it to what's going on outside right now, because we do actually have a healthy coverage of storms and showers out there for today, which was actually the forecast for today, that there'd be a notable uptick in storms. Now, right now, oddly enough, there's only a couple of isolated cells up over here. There's some really big thunderstorms over Brevard County, but what I think we'll see fill in through the later afternoon is this area here should see more thunderstorms. So if you're watching us from, let's say, Orlando, the Villages, Ocala, Clearmont, Winter Park, there should be more showers and storms that fill in there over the next, let's say, half an hour to 3 hours, if you will. Further down here in Brevard County, some really big thunderstorms from Fort Pierce down to St. Lucie County. Also some big thunderstorms in the Palm Bay area. Probably the biggest thunderstorm in our coverage area is in the Melbourne Beach area. A little bit more reminiscent of a summer downpour than what we are in now, which is early fall. Now, I'll look on the velocity data. There's really nothing in here of concern in terms of wind, in terms of hail. I mean, I guess there could be some small hail, but that's really about it there. And there's been a lot of thunderstorms there, at least earlier today. Now, what we're going to watch is you see this green line that was sent out from those thunderstorms right here. That's an outflow boundary combined with the this late in the year. There's not really a huge sea breeze, not like it is in peak summer. As that moves west, could spark some new thunderstorms in this squiggly area through 5 o'clock. But look, not everybody's going to see rain tonight, but many will. And really, over the last 5 days, there's been nothing. You see a couple of small showers here up by Pearson, a couple of small showers here over by Bunnell and Flagler Beach, a couple of showers back here from Spring Hill, but really across the state, it's more prevalent in South Florida. You can see that there, but it's not going to be anything severe for today, which is good news. So there's the live radar right now. Let us know where you're watching from. I'm going to pull up some of your comments and questions here on Facebook, and I'm going to talk you through a little bit of the weather disco here for the next few minutes, and then we'll take a break. We'll bring in TJ. TJ and I will chat up with you what's going on in the world today, and then we'll hear from Brooks and Jess. And then at the end of the half hour, we'll talk a little bit more about the tropics. So let me give you the tropical update for today. Let me take this full so you can see it, because there's a lot that I want you to be able to see. So here's Gabrielle as of the 2 o'clock advisory, and this is a big hurricane. Really big hurricane. Now it's past its peak intensity. It's going to start to weaken here, but it's a big storm. It reached Category 4 status very quickly. Now I'll show you how far it is from us here. Let me just zoom this out and show you. So the eye of the hurricane, which is right there, is about 1,000 miles east of Cape Hatteras, and it's about 1,500 miles to the northeast of the Space Coast. Now, we reported on this last night. If you caught our newscast, there were a couple hundred rescues over the weekend in Volusia County. Well, a hurricane even being 1,400 miles out, this is going to create a long fetch of onshore swell. The rip current risk has been high the last few days. It'll be high again through tomorrow. Then once the hurricane gets further east, that rip current threat will go away. But it's a good visual reminder. You might not think about it, but definitely a hurricane being out in the ocean is going to increase the rip current threat for sure. So let me give you more on Gabrielle, which was our second hurricane of the year. And it's interesting. This is the first time since 2007 where both the first two hurricanes were Cat 4s or 5s. And I believe 2007, off my research last night, is the last time that has happened. So here's a zoom in, 130 mile an hour, moving east-northeast at 20. And if you look at this, what you can notice is if you just kind of divide it in half, the western half is starting to get a little bit more fragmented than the eastern half, which tells you there's some drier air coming in from the west. They just divide it in quadrants. In fact, let me just stop this and show you visually what I'm talking about. So we'll zoom you in here, and I want you to look. This is the latest frame of the satellite. If we just, let me change this pen to some hot pink. Again, hello, Facebook friends. How are you? Hello, YouTube. Hello on Fox Local. If you just divided this up in quadrants like this, look how there's a lot more thunderstorms and convection in this quadrant and in this quadrant. And over here, there's not much because there's some dry air starting to get wrapped in from the west, which is going to start weakening it here pretty quickly, actually, over the next couple of days. Hello, all of you on Facebook. Hello, hello, hello. It's a Tuesday at 3:06. So the good news is that Gabrielle is no more threat to land. It's pulling away. Here is the latest spaghetti plot for Gabrielle, and notice all of the models take it away from Florida. But the interesting thing is, let me show this to you full screen here. The interesting thing is many of them actually take it into Portugal and Western Europe as a remnant low into next week. So Gabrielle, powerful hurricane, it's moving away. That's the headline, and it was the second hurricane of the year, which oddly enough was a Cat 4. And Aaron was the other one in a Cat 5. So that now means Umberto and Imelda are next up. So out there we have two other tropical waves behind Gabrielle. There's one here in red and there's one in orange. And these are the development probabilities over the next week. So it's crystal clear here for you. In the next week, it's a high chance of development in red and a medium chance in orange. So Gabrielle 1, red zone 2, orange zone 3. Now, I understand the orange zone kind of looks like it's near us. There's the most remote chance that that's going to end up impacting us. It does not appear to be a threat to us in any way. And here's why. The reason why is because over us this weekend, there's a pretty stout upper level low. And in English, what this means is that the air up aloft is, again, you can see this is the jet stream going like this. So what that's going to do, the flow around that is going to help pick up this tropical wave that's over here and lift it north. But because the low's there, even if the low up aloft got full hold of it, the most wonky, crazy path it could do is probably something like that. And then it gets pulled into the west like that as a remnant rainmaker. But notice that's still not into Florida. So there is a chance, some of the models today I'll show you after we take a break, are trying to develop this into a hurricane in this area. It's only maybe about a third of the models. Obviously, a hurricane being off of our east coast, which here's the Space Coast, that's going to grab some attention. But because of this low that's here, it's just next to impossible for that, unless it moved west more, next to impossible for this to come into the east coast of Florida like that. It just can't happen. Now, it could come really close. You know, it could take a path like this wave, whatever it becomes, like that. But it appears extremely unlikely it would make a direct threat to us in Florida, which is good news. Now, here's the European model. Let me see if this updated so far today. See if we got the 12Z data in. We don't, sadly. So here's last night's Euro. We're going to get the new Euro in shortly. And notice by, let me turn off these pixel queries. Now here's Sunday at 8 a.m. And I filtered this out to make it super easy to read. We've got the two systems here, which we're going to take a quick break on Fox Local, and we'll be right back in about 2 minutes. I'm going to do this package at the end of the block so you and I can take all this to kibitz.
What's that?
I'll do it at the end. So, yeah, if you want to come here.
Oh, yeah, that sounds perfect, buddy. Oops.
All right, so can you go around the other side or no? Can you?
Good call.
You don't have to. I can switch chairs with you.
Oh, yeah, we should
Slide it around me.
Slide by. Oh, yeah. Good. Did I knock that thing out of the way? Okay. I'll be okay still. Might be okay still. If I didn't mess it up.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody. How are you? We've got TJ Springer here with us. Say hello.
Hi. How's everybody doing today?
How are you doing today?
I'm in mourning because
You're in
of
mourning.
I'm in mourning because of
Yes.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah. So if you don't know, TJ's from the Maryland area originally, the Baltimore area, and is a big Ravens fan.
Yes.
And if you're not a sporty type like us, they lost last night to the Lions,
Yes.
which looked. A lot has been said in the sports talk world about they lost both their coordinators and the downfall of them. But it turns out when you still have good people on the team,
And you have a coach
they're the
like
ones
Dan
who are
Campbell.
running, actually hitting people and moving the ball.
Exactly.
Players are still there, but they looked good.
They looked really good.
I mean, going into Baltimore to win, I feel like is
On prime time, no less. That doesn't happen
Yeah.
terribly often. It's crazy. They were talking about Dan Campbell and his stats as head coach. How
Yeah.
first, I think there was a few wins the first, and just how much the team as a whole has improved
Right.
since he's been the head coach in Detroit. And one of our EPs, as you know, Josh, he is a huge Lions fan, so he texted me last night. He's like, "I'm really sorry." I said, "That's okay. My dog is hiding, and everything's gonna be fine. Everything's great. It's just a game at the end." But I was very riled up.
How many of these close games are they going to lose?
I know.
For the Ravens. I mean, how many years are they? I mean, Lamar's got like the highest QBR in the league.
Yeah, ever.
They haven't done squat.
And the Lamar had a great game. I mean, I think you can't blame.
I mean, they had 7 sacks.
Yeah, he got sacked, but in terms of like his numbers, his yards, his touchdowns,
Yeah.
they were really, really good. But yeah, you can't get. But I mean, that's the O line. I mean, you can't.
Right.
Granted, I think he was trying to make some things happen. He definitely could have used his legs more
Right.
last night.
Well,
But-
the interesting thing to put a bow tie on your feelings for today is the interesting thing is on the football convo is that your guys they go to Kansas City next week. Who's
To take on the
also
1 and 2
2.
Chiefs,
So one of those teams is going to be 1-3.
which is wow.
So
I
one of
think-
the 2 best teams in the league is going to be 1-3 after next weekend. That would be wild.
It's wild. I think.
And who's it going to be?
It's interesting, and you look at Mahomes' stats
There's no
versus
way.
Lamar's.
There's no way they're going to let the Chiefs be 1-3.
I mean,
That's going to be a tough climb with the refs and the crowd. And
it is. But I mean, every time we've played the Chiefs in recent history, the games have been always decided by 7 points or less. It seems.
Right.
And it's always down to the wire. It's always crazy.
Right.
We have not. I don't think the Ravens have beaten the Chiefs at Arrowhead in the Mahomes era. I
They've been
think
close. I remember they had a lot of close games.
a lot of close
Yeah.
games. But Mahomes has 3 TDs. Lamar has, I think, 10. So it's interesting to see how many. Granted, he's used his legs a little more.
True.
I think this. So it'll be a great game. I think that's our game of the week. I think that's. I think that's Fox. I don't know. It's Fox
don't
CBS.
know. I don't know.
I can't remember if it's a Fox. That might be. I think it might be a Fox game. It might be.
Say, I know most of the Ravens
Can you
games
look?
are not on Fox, but
I know.
I don't know.
I vaguely remember
But-
looking last weekend, and I'll confirm or deny. But hey, let us know if you watch football. If you're a big
yeah,
football.
let us know. So,
No, it's CBS, not Fox. On
okay.
CBS.
Those other
I apologize.
people. Those
Those
other
other
people,
those other
TJ.
guys. Ross is
I know. Well, to add to your feeling of rain on the emotions, there's not a lot of rain right now.
Ran on the parade.
Yeah.
No. Like I said, the
There's some,
storms
but
are
not a
pretty
lot.
nasty down in Brevard County, but thankfully not too crazy right now.
So what we were showing before you hopped in after the break was this is the Euro from last night. I tried to filter it out just to show blobs and storms here.
Showing
It's
the 2
graphic, yeah,
waves.
what they develop, and you can see the 2 here, right? But I guess the takeaway here is that this first wave is probably going to do something like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then this other one over here might meander around and do this or this, but it's going to end up eventually going out to sea again.
Just like Aaron and just
Right.
like old Gabby out there
Right.
right now.
Yeah, true. But I guess this one could be though an impact threat to the U.S., maybe to the Carolinas.
It seems that way. I mean, some of it
But
did
it's
even
not
take a little
strong,
farther,
though.
almost a minute. No,
Well, at least
thankfully
this
not.
one, I mean, you see it. That's like a tropical depression or a storm, maybe. You still get a name, and then this one over here, this is by Sunday, could be a hurricane. So you feasibly, I mean, what do you think? We easily could have Umberto, the H-name storm here.
And maybe
Possibly
Amel?
this is Imelda. But the interesting thing is, this is last night's run of the Euro. I don't think I can get yesterday's. Or actually, I could. This is yesterday's, and notice it still had the two systems idea, except by that point, the other one was already like a Cat 2 hurricane.
Much stronger.
And this one's
yeah.
still a depression. So I guess the point is that the models have been more bullish on this wave than this one.
And I did notice now, looking at the tropical models, they have now shown all of them. It seems like they've all hinted now. 'Cause yesterday, that really wasn't the case.
Right.
Looking out in the wide domain, it definitely seems like they're now starting to pick up on both potential Imelda and potential Umberto. But I mean, it is interesting.
I guess that's the path, now, to put it more visually.
Yeah.
Why we don't have too much worry here.
The timing, I think that's obviously key. It
Later
seems
weekend into the next week.
yeah, and you'd hope that
Yeah.
there's no slowing of that upper trough, that everything would steer it safely away from.
Right, well, it still could be that far of us. I mean, look at this.
It's
how the
close.
traffic's shown. It's not like it's going to be that far away.
No,
But,
maybe a couple hundred
safely
miles if
offshore,
that.
though.
Yeah. I mean, if you
Whatever
have,
it is.
whatever it is, yeah.
Right.
If you have plans to go to the Bahamas for a vacation,
Oh,
definitely
true.
something to
A
monitor.
cruise. Maybe you're
cruise.
cruising out of Port Canaveral. That's a good point.
Yeah.
If you're cruising out of Port Canaveral next week, I guess.
Going to the DR, Punta Cana, anywhere in the Caribbean.
Let's pull up our Fox model. I'll pull this up quick for everybody. So we got 2 minutes. We got to take another break on Fox Local. Let's see if I can pull up our Fox model here. So are you surprised how quiet September was? I know we've talked about
We
this
have.
several times around the merry-go-round, but
So
what's your instead of that? Because we've actually talked about that. What do you think for October?
I mean,
Busy, or it's just still going to be quiet?
it's just interesting. I mean, I have a hard time believing it'll be totally quiet, kind of like now. But we've seen these waves been able to organize just because of it being the time of the year it is, the warmth in the Atlantic. It's just crazy that we've had this persistent pattern overall that has kept the troughiness in the east and kind of kept the Gulf quiet. And it'll be interesting to see if we can see any sort of switch or anything that spins up in the Caribbean and goes into the Gulf and works off the moisture or the warmth, the fuel in the Gulf. So I guess only time will tell. But I mean, thankfully, I know we said this yesterday. I another memory today. I saw a post about Helene, and this was the time that we were starting to see. I think I guess it would have been the first cone. I think at this point, right?
And for those of you on Fox Local, in 10 seconds, you're going to take a break.
Take a little break.
So for those of you on our Fox Local stream, we'll see you back in 2 minutes. Coming up here in about 4 seconds.
If you don't want to miss anything, go to Facebook and YouTube right now.
All right, so Facebook YouTubers, we're still with you. So
we're hanging out.
While they're in a break, I guess we can show them this. This is interesting. I haven't seen this yet today.
Look at that. Yeah, both of them.
Well, I guess the
double
interesting
trouble
thing here. Well, I guess the interesting here is how close they are, these waves, and this is by Sunday. I'll just back it up. I guess this is really a tricky forecast, but in the grand scheme of things, not really for us, because these waves are so close. I guess they could
do the dance,
play with each other, as they just drift this way. Mm-hmm. But again, the good news is I don't really think there's a concern here. But this is interesting to see. The Fox models kind of got.
They're moving almost in tandem.
Two distinct entities, right? You see one here.
Yep.
One here, but you can kind of see the wind fields at the surface. They're kind of attached in the middle.
Yep. There's one, it seemed like the southeastern wave, which is the one that was likely going to be stronger. Does that come to fruition? Does one kind of take over, and do they, like you said, wobble around each other for a little bit?
Let's see how strong these are on the pressure chart here.
They're far enough from the ridge. Can this upper level, can this dip in the jet help corral these away from us, or like, does it corral them
That's
closer?
interesting. You see, they both kind of have it. It's interesting. I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, this would probably be at least the named tropical storm, 997 millibars. Mm-hmm. And this one may be a depression or a storm.
And it's funny because that's the one that's expected to be slightly weak, the one that's closer and weaker.
Right.
It's interesting.
It seems like there's this spread. The global, the lower resolution modeling is the opposite, but the hurricane models are a little bit more aggressive with the
eastern one.
Yeah. Which one becomes stronger and more dominant kind of is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I guess this only really matters for the U.S. if the western one
is the one that ends up taking
stronger,
over.
Because then maybe you could see some direct impacts at the Carolinas next week.
I mean, I think safe to say for us, definitely choppy out on the beaches,
right,
and a high rip current risk, and that's been the case with Gabrielle too.
Yep.
Rougher surf and the high risk. Just be careful if you are here on vacation and you are hanging out at the beaches. Something to think about for sure.
So, welcome back, Fox local friends. Hello, everybody on Facebook, YouTube. Let me check your comments.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, I feel I have my phone.
Joseph says can't wait for the low dew points.
Oh, boom.
Nikki says 12-0 today shows both invests as hurricanes. Yep, tricky what we were showing. Hello, Alice from Winter Haven. Hello, Noah TJ. Hello, Becky Vanderkamp.
Hi, Becky.
So we're actually going to make a little bit of a right turn here, and right turn in terms of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to go from hurricanes to solar flares.
But it's kind of funny. I mean,
yeah. So our 3 o'clock stream, we'd like to bring in the whole team here, and Brooks and Jess provide us with some content from the morning. And today they've got an interesting little piece on solar flares.
It'll be fun. I feel like we had. I mean, because we live on the Space Coast, or at least close enough, we're always talking about launches and space.
Right.
So this will be cool. I'm kind of interested to see what Jess and Brooks have to say here.
Well, let's see what they got.
Hey everyone, I'm Fox 35 Storm Team Meteorologist Jessica Dobson, joined here by Brooks Garner, and we are talking all things solar flares because we don't just have weather on the Earth, we also have weather in other places like space weather.
Yeah, and space weather is very important, not just for astronauts who could be potentially exposed to deadly radiation, but also hundreds of thousands of active satellites on orbit between now and the 2030s, which represents countless billions of dollars of infrastructure floating in our heads in space.
Yeah, and when it comes to things like solar flares, it can impact our local life here on planet Earth, but it does not impact us humans. But when it comes to different satellites we can use and see, they have been, working to send up more and more high-resolution satellites so that we can get a better idea of solar flares, which is what we see right here, and exactly when they're going to form. And they form pretty quickly too, and they actually move at the speed of light. So they're large bursts of energy that emit from the sun. They emit this radiation from the sun, and it can reach the Earth in a matter of about 8 minutes on average. But it can disrupt our everyday life here on planet Earth, like radio, GPS navigation, and sometimes power grids if they are powerful enough. But again, there is no harm to humans. We have the outer atmosphere of the Earth that helps to protect us from that electromagnetic radiation.
That's right, and NASA is working with SpaceX to send a series of satellites onto orbit very soon that will essentially be an early detection for the emittance of these solar flares. You've probably heard of coronal mass ejections? Maybe not. But a coronal mass ejection, that's like material that can take a couple of days to get to Earth. But the problem with the solar flare is that they travel at light speed. So if a flare is forming, we need to know about it before that emission begins so that our infrastructure, our satellites, and even our astronauts on orbit or doing deep space travel have the heads up that something dangerous may be heading their way.
Yeah, and this is an image. This is actually a video from NASA, and it's really cool stuff. It almost looks like something from a sci-fi movie, in all honesty. Brooks said Lord of the Rings earlier, and all of those things are true. You can kind of see it there at the center of the screen, slowly but surely illuminating. And it's just honestly fascinating that we have so many things like this that can impact our universe and all the planets and even us here on Earth, something that is, millions of miles away.
Yeah, it takes about 8 minutes for something traveling light speed to go from that thermonuclear explosion we call the sun here to Earth. So that's the time we get to learn. So if this satellite is located 1 million miles away, we get a little bit more heads up than we otherwise would, because from Earth observation, it would take eight minutes from the point of emission for us to even detect that it happened. So this will give us that early heads up, we hope.
So really interesting stuff, and that's going to be it for us. We'll send it back over to you.
Very cool. That was interesting.
I love that. Yeah, for sure.
And I think to parlay this into the weather, I think it's one thing that maybe is not said enough.
Space weather.
Well, and so what I was going to say is solar activity directly influences the weather.
Yeah, and I think
A lot of people may not know that the sun, remember, is what provide. Well, the reason why we have weather is a large part is the Earth's heated
yes.
unequally.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
if the sun is going through really active periods or quiet periods, it does have a role in the weather.
Oh, definitely.
It doesn't, not the whole thing, but it's part of the pie.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. And I think people don't really think about a lot of one of my good friends, one of my roommates went into space weather, and it's cool that it's still forecasting. It's just
Yeah.
forecasting on another level. It's forecasting geomagnetic storms and
Yeah.
the strength of solar flares and how because they said GPS, radio, so many things we
Right.
depend on as a electrical grid. I mean, just everything that we depend on, like you said, is
Yeah.
all, it's all tied together. So really cool. I love that.
And what better place to talk about that than here?
Here on the Space Coast, I keep saying that. Here, in Central Florida and in tandem, the Space Coast.
We'd have to get a tally. I wonder how many rockets have launched. In
Oh
the
my
last
gosh.
5 years.
I think of
Since
how
the
many launches
pandemic.
we've had just since I've been here
Yeah.
in the last year. And it's like, wow, it feels like there's one,
Yeah.
1 to 2 a week on average, maybe. It's wild. It's crazy.
And I don't think we have a launch tonight, but the impact I guess we'll leave people with, we've got about a minute left, is or a minute and a half left. Some growing showers, TJ, through the evening, it looks like.
Yeah. It definitely feels like a more typical summer day, as you mentioned, even though it's the second day of fall, the first full day of fall. Sea breeze interactions and, a little bit of upper level energy as well. Definitely going to have to turn the windshield wipers on for that evening drive potentially.
A downpour here over Maitland and Groen.
Yeah.
See if it comes to that. Not much around downtown, though.
No. If anyone's hitting the road here to maybe get an early jump on the drive home from work, definitely wetter closer to the
It's a big
Space
stone
Coast.
building here west of the Villages.
Yeah, those look a little nasty. Seeing some of those reds and purples. I know you mentioned
Yeah.
that maybe it's a touch of small hail, maybe, but certainly torrential rain embedded in any of these stronger storms. I'm already ready for Florida fall. In Florida winter.
TJ's ready.
I'm ready.
I am too. I could go I could go for a cold front about right now.
Maybe we can only hope we get a touch of relief from this front later on this weekend. Maybe we can only cross our fingers.
Being here now 2 years, which is coming up for me in a few weeks.
think.
You just had your 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you. I've lost sense of when to expect it to be cold. Like, as you've lived your whole life, like my friends from up north texting me. It's like it's already in the 40s at night there. And it's like
Yes.
that's a foreign concept to me now. Like I couldn't imagine being cold already. Like I like
No.
it here to not be freezing.
Yeah.
But talking about both sides, I'd also like it to be a little bit less hot here.
I really cherished our days in the 40s
Yeah.
in December and January last year.
I'm not gonna lie though, here in December, January is excellent.
It's
You
wonderful.
can't beat it. Yeah.
Yet I was bundled up, which still is a mystery to me.
That's
what's
fine.
happening to me, to us.
We appreciate you all watching. We're gonna
Yes.
send you back to programming on Fox Local. We'll see you coming up tonight with much more.
Bye.